Well, good weekend all. I'm Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this is your weekend edition, so we'll look at the weekly charts primarily now and get a feel for them. And as we go into the markets, understand on Monday there's no major economic data, not really much on Tuesday. Wednesday's full of everything, and that's where you're going to get your PCE data as well, and that's one of the Fed's favorite tools. Now, the interesting thing about gold was, remember, this is a market that went from $2,800, I'm giving you approximate highs, down to $2,550, and is suddenly back to $27.12. I know that in my futures, I was telling traders that we had a trade on there that wasn't going well, and I said, if you could afford to ride it, you got to ride it. Now I'm telling people that you've now got a minor profit. It's probably time to take it off and take a fresh look. It's too wild. You drop $250 one week, you come back $180 or so the next over time. Now that's craziness, and it just tells you the market doesn't really know what to do. Those are too big of moves. Was it a crowded trade? For sure. Crowded means a lot of people were one-sided. I was certainly in that camp because I don't see a way out of the inflation spiral. I see nothing that the Trump administration is going to do at first to get us out of that. It seems to me that it's going to be, yes, eventually, if they can, you know, it's one thing for Musk and Ramaswamy to say they're going to go in and cut this, cut that, cut that. This is not their turf. That's the problem. This is the government. And it's very different than when I'm going into my own companies and I'm cutting. This is what we're doing. This is different. We will see if they can do it. We will see who will listen to them, and we'll see what kind of power they have to do it. I'm unfortunately, as much as I want them to succeed, I know how people fight for turf, and so do you. So at first, I'm still seeing the inflation spending. At first, I'm seeing the goal to cut taxes. At first, I'm seeing that the idea to loosen up on regulation, this all still sounds a bit inflationary, and I was surprised gold fell that much. Definitely there. I am not surprised at the rally we've had in the stock indices. I stuck my neck out, and right now I'm looking like it's still attached to my body. The dollar has been on a tear to the upside, just literally trampling all currencies against it. Who can compare? Right now our economy keeps growing, our labor's phenomenal, our PMIs still show growth. If you looked at Europe's today in the euro, you saw it fell apart, and now they're in a big contraction, and all of a sudden the market's wondering, are they going to go to 70 or 50 point cut in December? Not 75, but 50. The odds went in one night from 15% to 50 points to 50. So we got to remember, these are betting odds. So you just take a look how the option players are going in there and what they're doing. But that also works against gold, all right? Because gold's headwind has been the strong dollar, duh. And the other headwind has been very strong interest rates. Absolutely still there. So not a lot has changed. That's the problem for the market. We've had Ukraine. Okay, that helped. I guess the rally, you know that Russia's now saying they're going to go into production shortly with these hypersonic missiles that they fired. I don't know if you're aware of it. It travels 8,000 miles an hour. So it made the trip from where it was fired in 15 minutes. Russia claims that we cannot shoot it down at this point in time. I don't know enough about military to know that or not. But what I've heard is that NATO members are meeting very quickly this weekend and early next week on questioning about this missile and what they're going to do. I don't know what these domes that we have that protect countries can do and not do. When we look at the gold market for the week, you wouldn't know it after the rally that you had. You're still down 1.35%. Is this a weekly chart or a monthly? It's a monthly. You're down 1.35%. When we get to the weekly, you're up 5.5%. Look at how the market, when it was falling, and I said I think it'll hold my line in the sand, the 18-day moving average of closes, which has been an area this market likes to fight against. You can see it here, you see it again here, and it held it again in that zone there. And now the question is, are you going to go up? And remember, this is a close-only chart. Are you going to be able to get over 27.49.20 on a closing basis? When I look at the price action, I see a higher high, and I can just see the lower and low. So I'm not seeing a trend. That is why I started off this discussion with you as to, yeah, there's probably a zone where you want to look at the market and just say, that big break. It all happened in 2 weeks off the Trump victory, and now it's coming back. I can't see a trend off of that. What I can see is how the market held beautifully those numbers, and you've bounced back, and that's what I did tell my subscribers I thought would happen, but too hard, not trending, nothing I could do about that. When you look at momentum, you had lost, and you're still under the influence of an overbought market. So this is a market that corrected this part. It was just relentless. Remember, that's a weekly chart. So since the summertime, it had been relentless. It corrected. Could it just reinstate the bull and run? Well, it could, but it's going to need more information than it has from this, I think. The gold-silver ratio, you're still staying over the red line, the 18-week moving average of closes, which tells me silver's still the laggard to it. The silver market is holding itself. You can see that right here. You've got a higher high, lower low. And it's interesting because the weekly silver futures chart is not saying go out and buy. But if you look at SLV, it is. So there are times, and this happens often, when you get the ETF that is based on silver, or the ETF like QQQ based on the NASDAQ, I got buy signals in QQQ that I didn't get in the futures markets. I go with what the chart action is, not the underlying part. And this doesn't have it. It doesn't have a signal to go short. It had the correction like the gold, but it hasn't had the bounce back like the gold. It could. In the copper market, as we broke down, I have told you now that I thought you'd run into a stiff amount of support between the 200-day average, 200-week average, in gray, and the 100-week average in green. And it's just what happened. But 1 times your support. If the market starts down again, you could be going to the 388 level. There's nothing on this chart yet friendly. In the platinum market, we're fighting at a resistance point. Like the gold and silver, you went up into the election time, came down, and now the market's fighting for direction. The rug was pulled on all the metals. Don't you kid yourself, that happened. Where it wasn't pulled, where it was, let's put in some, if you will, nitrogen into our car engine and let it roar, and that's what happened with the dollar. Again, this is Trump's baby. Stock market is how he judges how he does. How the economy's done is by looking at the U.S. dollar. He thinks, unfortunately, okay, the dollar should be lower, not higher, and he's not going to be right on that. The dollar is the biggest market in the world, all right? Foreign currency trade is the right statement, and it's bigger than everything. So you just watch it, but dollar is a powerhouse because the economy is so well, because of Trump as well coming in. We know what he did before, so the market's praying he can do it again. Whatever you think doing it again is, I will leave wide open for you to decide, for the pros and the cons. One of the things that you should do is we have so many free offers on our website. You should take advantage of them, and you should get our research. If you go into research on the site there, I think you'll find that they'll do a pretty good job. I don't walk on water. Okay, I'm not as good as those guys that can do that, but I think in this game, I hold my own very well. And you can take a look at the different things from the Season X charts to the more research to technical indicators. It's all here and there now. So do yourself. Go there, sign up for the free offer. You fill out the forms just like you saw on that thing. We'll get it within generally 2 business days. It's in your mailbox, and I'm talking your email box. You can also move your cursor up to the top here, and you can call us if you have questions. I'm Epstein. You have yourself a great weekend. I'll catch up with everybody Monday morning. Take care.